Well, isn't that interesting? We went live at exactly 11:11 Eastern. So I'm not on Eastern, but so 10:11 for me. However, hello. Let's see. Okay, so hopefully you're seeing me now, and thank you for hanging out. I don't even know what to say anymore. So I called Chris, and he comes in and just touches it and looks at it and does his magic. Okay, so let's let's get centered. I know it's 11:11. So, hi Lisa, hi Symphony, hi Evertag, and oh, Eolite, is that it? Symphony and Susan and Kim and Sylvia and Diane and Peaceful Positives, Jennifer and Mag. Hello, all my lovelies. So please say hi and thank you for joining me. We are on 11:11, which is why we're talking about how exciting it is that we started at 11:11. I was like, but it won't be 11:11 here, and I thought it's 11:11 somewhere. So that was very interesting, and thank you, Spirit, for always aligning us to what is optimal in the moment, whether we know it or like it or not. I actually have a client who starts her classes at things like 33.3, 3:33. And I always thought to do that, but I thought, technology and I do interesting interactions. And so I can't really, I have to be more in the moment. So before we begin, I want to share something with you. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but I got this in Greece and I haven't been able to wear it. And since you can't see the back of me, I'm going to see if you can see the back of my jacket. Okay. I can't tell if you can see it. It's a big all-seeing eye. So have fun. I have that right on the back of my heart chakra today. Okay, and so we want to say wonderful thanks for everybody being here. I love all of you so much. It's such an exciting blessing. I was watching one of my videos and my head was cut off and I was like, pay attention to your head. So it's so wonderful when we gather together because the energies, even though we're not together in space personally, are so powerful when we gather. And one of the reasons that we're gathering today is to talk about the sacred feminine. And this is a little masterclass that I wanted to teach because, well, it just keeps coming through me. Let's just put it that way. I'm not sure I do anything that I want to do anymore, mostly. It's not a bad thing. I'm just saying that, Spirit and I are like this all day long, every day. It's just a constant conversation. So what we're doing right now in the moment is we all know that we're evolving on the planet. We all know that things are going fast. We all know that things are going sideways, upside down, wonky, crumbling, falling apart, disappearing, dissolving, whatever you want to call it. We are definitely in our metamorphosis. So many, 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 many civilizations and prophecies, even the astronomers called this the great societal reset. These are scientists. These aren't, spiritual woo-woo people, although some of them might be. And so what we get to see is that we're in it now. So all of the peoples that prophesized that this was a moment of profound transformation, metamorphosis, the grand societal reset, this is a moment that we are going through. And the reason I do spiritual weather report is because it's an energy vortex or tunnel or structure that we are going through. And it's not like we have a choice. So there's only through. And yet you can choose how you walk through and who you are as you walk through. And you can use every moment to be savored because it will never happen again. And regardless of whether it's what you think you want, right? We're talking about that craving and that greed and that addiction and that desire, and then disappointment, and then wanting more, and then never enough, and then I'm never enough, and then when is there going to be enough, and the shame and the guilt and the blame and the judgments and the victimhood and the torture and the war and the hate and the anger. And okay, so we could do that for about 6 hours nonstop without even slowing down. We get the point. Blah, blah, blah. Let's have a little sweet life moment. Everything you do is a choice, and it shifts the energy in you. The glasses that I put my drinks in bring me delight. They're unicorns or butterflies or, little panda bears saying, have a sweet life. And I know that energetically they're infusing the liquid within it. And if you know Dr. Emoto's work, you know that water, and we're mostly water, and the planet is mostly water, and we're born in water. And so when you infuse a liquid, you can also infuse a crystal. You can also infuse the air, the floor, the trees, okay? And so you want to speak back and forth, but we've forgotten the sacred feminine arts. They are here, they're coming back. There's beautiful work being done across the planet in a lot of these areas. And yet the really deep stuff, the sacred things, those are the ones most deeply buried for all of us. And I want to make clear as I'm talking that I'm never blaming men. Okay, I'm never blaming anyone. I have no interest in being at blame. It's the second lowest state of consciousness. Blame is guilt. And so I'm not going there. That's an emotional state of such heaviness that there's no escape. You cannot solve a problem through blaming. You cannot solve a problem through judging. You have to retract your energy. Everyone says they want to reclaim their energy, their power, their voice. And it's true, and we should, and it's time. And yet most of what's being done is inside of a framework that is still limiting. I'm not criticizing anybody's work out there. I can't believe it sometimes every day that I wake up, how many people are talking spiritual stuff. I mean, it's absolutely mind-boggling and overwhelming. I felt for decades I was wandering around in the darkness, stumbling into one person here and one person there, and mostly people didn't understand a lot of my terminology and my verbiage because it went very deep into mystery schools, light body work, sacred geometry, radionics, energy work, and healing work that was all spiritual work in the past. All medicine, all healing was spiritual because we are spiritual beings. The spiritual affects the physical. How do you affect the physical? How do you create something in your life? How do you say, I want my lover here. I want to be touching them and holding their hand and walking on the beach with them. I want my, healthy body now. I want to be running. I want to be dancing. I want to be doing something. I want the money now. I want the recognition now. I want the whatever now. So is there something wrong with wanting something? No, of course not. That's part of the sacred feminine arts. It very much reminds me of cats. If you understand cats are detached. They embody detachment. And so do they love you? Oh, yeah. And you know it. However, they come and they ask for what they want. They're like, pet me, rub me, aren't I fabulous? Look at my belly, rub, pat, adore me. Touch me, touch me. You imagine if humans acted this way, but don't you want that? Don't you just want like 50,000 more hugs in a day? Don't you want to be touched, seen, heard, just sat with? Don't you want some peace in the moment to hear the deep stillness within you? Don't you wonder who you really are while your life and the agenda of the world rushes on? And here's the thing. We've all been structured and conditioned. If you're alive right now, even if you're young, you have conditioning around our cultural structures, which are falling apart. Now, it's not this is bad, that's bad, and you do your part in it. So if your part is as a lawyer or as a doctor or as a teacher or as a minister or, whatever, a chef, it doesn't matter what it is. Thank you. If you love it, if it's what you were designed for, if it's the optimal way for you to be expressing your soul powers and your creativity, then go for it. Otherwise, please question it, and question all the time, because we haven't been taught to listen within. We haven't been taught to trust our intuition. We haven't been taught to listen to the voices, to understand that Spirit is speaking to us 24/7 in multiple dimensions, and so much is available. So you have to be able to tune in and not get overwhelmed. You have to be able to stop tuning into fear and people's vibrations and war and hate, because the Sacral Center is built for creation, and the sexual nature of it is not gender. So I was going to say, I'm not speaking about gender. I am not against men. This is about sacred feminine principle, sacred masculine principle, like the positive and negative poles on a magnet. Okay, this is energy that is required to create form. We think of manifestation as creating form. Okay, when I see it, when I touch it, when I have it, when it's mine, when it makes me feel safe, when it makes me feel better, when that happens, I'll feel better about myself. When this happens, I'll spend more time for me. When that person agrees, I'll do this. This is how we're trained. There's nothing you've done wrong. It just is over. Just completely over. We cannot do everyone else's story anymore. And it's weird. So wherever you are on that path, namaste. Thank you for being here. When you're on a path of self-discovery, self-realization, you are on a path of truth. And you have to go from where you are to where your soul knows is optimal for you because of how you were designed. And if you do not clean and clear the sacral, if you do not reclaim your womb, if you do not heal the sacred feminine wounds and bring the creative force back, but feel safe about it, all right? So the biggest layers laying in the sacral, and I do a lot of sacral healing sessions with people, a lot. And there's so much is held here in the sacral: the torture, the abuse, the manipulation, the burning of the witches, the taking away of the sacred feminine power, all the way down to women as mother, as goddess, as creator, to recognizing in form you can create as a person because you are a demigod. And because of that, then you have the masculine and the feminine, they're supposed to be equal, standing next to each other. Then the masculine began to become out of balance, and the feminine, until it was just literally laying like this. Okay, and that's where we've been living. That's the history that our planet understands. That's the imprint in our parents, our culture, and the way structures are built, and the way history is written. You cannot believe anything. You have to look at the people who wrote X, wrote it when. What was their level of consciousness? Now, to me, consciousness goes in a wave. It is the sacred serpent. It is the dragon of life. And that life force, that Kundalini, is the life force that has pure potential in it. When the pure potential energy comes to you, this is what the primordial representation of Gaia is. And Gaia, if you read, is the Greek name that we use for Mother Earth, really thinking about the physical earth body. All right. And if you realize that Gaia is a being, is alive, is everything in it, we all have part of this physical planet in our body. So we are one with Gaia. That there is no way to connect with your intuitive pathways. There's no way for you to open your sacred soul gifts, like your clairaudience, your clairvoyance. There's no way for you to open to the lives in your soul that were priestesses or healers or wisdom keepers or star watchers or dream weavers or artists or whatever. You held a mindset, you held an ability, you held experience, and you held wisdom. And now's the time to connect to your other lives for the powers. Again, you can do this bit by bit, and everything you're doing is helping, but it looks like this. Ooh, I have to take a sip, and then I'll tell you what it looks like. It's so funny. Thank you, thank you. Everything is alive. I thank everything from the cup to the cacao and the coconut oil and everything in it. And I feel incredibly blessed, like I'm constantly in a relationship with everything. So it looks like we're chipping away. So the image that Gaia gave me just then was like being inside of an egg with a hard shell, and we're chipping away. So our meditations, our activations, whatever you're doing, everything makes a difference, big time. And when you go on a retreat, you go out of your reality, you literally leave and you do something like I do. You go through a cocoon of intentional transformation because we are doing deep work and we're doing healing and we're going into the ethers and into spirit and into your fear and into your pain, and we're clearing the sacral and we're clearing the wound of the feminine and the womb of the planet and the wound of the planet and the womb and the wound of the psyche that has accepted war as even an option. A balanced masculine feminine principle, it's like a yin yang, is not we go to war. Even though you see a lot of the myths and the stories written as a war god or a war goddess, and they went to war against them, or always the heroes, that's us, we're demigods, are helped by the gods, always. And so they're showing you like, Athena gave you this, and then this person gave you that, and that happened here, and someone showed you the path. So this is really the reality of life. But our sacrum is both physically in a female body. There's differences in the female body. So of course men are intuitive, and of course we have a lot of incredible men that I live with, one that are embodying a very beautiful balance of their masculine and feminine. We need men to embody what their bodies are optimal for. Their car is optimal for certain energies. Focus, intention, getting things done, building structure, keeping things safe. But the out of balance masculine principle becomes not, I'm building a structure to keep you safe as I love you, revere you, and create a safe space for the sacred feminine to dance within. This is what these principles are for. We are meant to be embodying, if you're in a female body, regardless of how you identify, if your vehicle is feminine, then you have a bigger corpus callosum. This is the center between the two halves of the brain that holds all the glands that are the third eye, the pineal, the pituitary, hypothalamus, thalamus. You know, if you're interested in all of that, I have different courses on it, but we literally have the physical structure between the two halves of the brain, which we know operate more masculine and feminine, and the ability to connect those two is stronger in a female body. The ability to see both sides, the ability to go into the logic or go into the sacred feminine, bring in some amazing energies, and then feed it into the logical and bring it into a book or a class or something. So that's why you see so many women going to spiritual workshops and so many women teaching them now and so many women starting their own businesses, because this wave of sacred feminine empowerment, or what I used to call the new feminine economy, was a download I got, wow, 9 years ago, I think. And the idea at the time didn't make sense to me because I didn't want to write a business book. And even though I've had businesses and I coach businesses and all of that stuff, I just didn't want to write a book. And that was the only way I could think of it, is what's the new feminine economy? It's right. It sounds like I'm writing an economy book. I didn't want to write a book about the economy. What I know now is the sacred feminine economy, the new feminine economy, is the sacred feminine coming back and becoming that it's not an option. I will not do a business. I will not work with a company, or I will not do anything knowingly that is in alignment, not in alignment with my spiritual purpose and path. And my path and my purpose come first. I cannot be my best for the world. Now, when we've been cut off as a whole in the mind and the mindset, the cultural conditioning, it begins to grow into the cells of the DNA. So the DNA is flippable, switchable. It is not, you are not, okay? You are not going to get the diseases of your family unless you believe it. Period. I'm not going down that road, but I can tell you it's true. I have seen stuff you wouldn't believe, okay? So what you want to do is realize that you can flip the switches in your DNA, and you can clear the fear that you hold maybe in your throat. So a lot of healing has been in the throat chakra. A lot of people start getting sick through the throat chakra. And because it begins here, that it shuts off your communication, and it shuts off your access to spirit, to vision, to more dimensions, to seeing and perceiving and remembering the bigger picture of who you are, that the world is not paying your bills. Okay, this is a weeny, teeny, pointless little part of the world, and if it's not perfect, it's okay. All right, but you get cut off, and then of course, this is a communication center, receiving and sending out, not just with the voice, okay? This is an energy communication center, like a airport tower, and this gets really blocked, and this pours into the higher heart. The higher heart is not open in very few people. It is starting to open in some people, and that is the most sacred place that you hold within your body, and it cannot be accessed because it's your place of ultimate power. This place of ultimate power is where you are the creator. It is where you fully embody and decide that whether you remember or not, you remember, you choose to act as if you were here on the mission of living the sacred life that you designed. And you have more powers, whether they're psychic, whether they're healing, whether they're abilities to learn really fast or do something physical or hold space for people. There's so many levels of wisdom and experience that you hold within the soul that you are a part of, which has all the lives. So if you've lived thousands of lives, then Maybe there's a few, there is, that hold that sacred wisdom, and maybe who have been part of the battle that they were fighting at the time for the sacred feminine. Maybe the Joan of Arc energy comes to you. Maybe the Magdalene energy comes to you. Okay, maybe you resonate with Mother Earth and Pachamama and Terra. Maybe you feel that drawn to the caves or the waters because you know that you're in Gaia, and that sacredness brings you back into wholeness. You feel a drawn, you feel drawn, you feel a it's been a craving and a desire, but they're showing me that as we relax, we're opening our field for more of this information, more of this energy to come in. And as this energy comes in towards us, if we're still grasping and craving for it, then there becomes a resistance to receiving it and a Teflon effect. So you want to make sure that you relax and give yourself permission to be in this sacred space and to be fully present here. And each time you make this declaration, say it in your heart and relax your body more into the moment. And take a deep breath in, bring it up the nose, and let it bathe the third eye, this beautiful corpus callosum that you have within you. Feel the energies moving through it, cleansing, clearing, purifying. And when you release it out like you're really letting something out. You don't want it in you anymore. Take everything that's been cleansed and blocking your inner eye and your vision and sacred feminine intuitive pathways. Blow it out. So we enter this sacred space in reverence, presence, and love. I want you to feel into the sacred space that I've created before the call. It is a crystalline temple, and it's filled with gold light, but it is also like a prism where white light beams come into it and they refract. And they're refracting all around us, these beams of rainbows at angles coming down. And there's an exact duplicate below us, as above, so below. And you are in the center. And Athena is here, and she just will not wait. She keeps stepping in. So she is standing here and asked you to stand here, but she is standing here. So she is asking to embody your spine, your strength, and your wisdom, and bring you protection. So you're all going to now receive Athena's divine energy. Is one of the most powerful goddesses that ever existed and has lasted and is still revered and holds complete independent power within the sacred feminine, not needing masculine to create. She's a protector, not a war goddess. And she is the fountain of wisdom and the owl of truth. She's extremely present. She's extremely manifest here. And now she's becoming an enormous statue and sort of backing up in the temple. Now you've received the aegis. Feel that she has put this garment over your head and laid it on your shoulders. And it comes down under the breast, covering the heart center, front and back. The aegis is decorated, and this is her protector, her shield. This is another form that she wears it. Now she wears this because it protects the sacred heart. It protects the higher heart. It protects this place where you become the creator, independent from fear, blame, and craving. When you wear this, your heart center is connected to mine. And I am here today on 11/11 to open a portal for you from my sanctuary in Delphi, where the beautiful Delphine guarded this sacred source of Gaia. And today we give great thanks because we can now coax her. We can go into the caves and the recesses within your sacral. We can go into your 8 original cells that hold the codes of your soul's potential, past, power. You have all this that you need within you. Now I ask you to cradle your womb with your hands with pure love, as if you would hold an adored infant. You must accept this part of you. And I am here to protect you so that you never feel safe, unsafe, or unprotected, or all alone. The fears of the past were real. Yes, you've had to hide your power. The fears of the past were born when we were burned down and our sacred places shut. This was the moment that all women forgot. They are the source, not just of creating a human baby, but of birthing new universes. And this is why you are here. Whatever your path, it is beautiful, and I will give you the tools to be successful. You must choose yourself again. These powers that you hold are very, very strong. They're ancient and they're future. They may make no sense at first, and yet the ones that are ready and relevant for you now to allow to raise within you so that you can birth the new world, you are one of us. You are a protector of the sacred feminine, and you are the moment. You are here to be the portal. You are here to be the birther. You are here to be the midwives. You are here to be the healers. You are here to be the light, but you must own it. You must live it. You must embody it. Take it from the head and put it in the heart. I have gifted you this magical garment. The small snake heads like a fringe on it are wisdom and power of transformation. There is Medusa's head over the heart. Why? Why? Don't you notice that the tales they tell of us are twisted and contorted and often make no sense? They have taken the feminine away and called some of us masculine in the old stories. And they've blamed us. And they've showed that we were evil and made stories to make it sound that it was justified for the masculine to rise up, to leave the beautiful balance that we had, and to choose to take their strength in building, to build prison. The lust and desire the masculine has had for us has chased and chased and chased the sacral through time, through space, through planets. The stories abound, the desire for the masculine to not stand side by side with the feminine and create inequality and enjoy the beauty, but to desire to own it, yet they can't. So the conquest kept happening, and the masculine marched forward, and it grasped, and it chased, and it began to build prisons. And it didn't just imprison others and take their things. It wasn't enough. They wanted more. They couldn't create. They couldn't create life. They couldn't hear these secret voices. They couldn't see the visions. They couldn't be the oracle. They wanted this power. This masculine energy became the endless, bottomless pit, voraciously wanting this. And it never, ever can own it. It cannot become it. It cannot. So, more and more we saw the masculine fight to own everything, but it was never enough. To have the power, to have the control over the women, to have the power and the control over other men, over other races, over other lands. Now to find disagreements over ideas and philosophies and ways of speaking of spirit, to ruin centuries of beauty and sacred places for the conquest of more, more, more. The masculine roared and roared and roared until it demolished everything, and now, flat on the ground, facing Gaia face to face, the natural way will rise again. It can be no other way. It has reached the bottom. You know it and you see it. This is the time of change. Medusa was a goddess. It was a beautiful, sacred feminine power, and all of the serpents and all of the snakes through time, many, many cultures did understand its power, its wisdom. Shed the old. Stay on the path and realize you must be flexible. You must weave back and forth. You will find your spirit again. Regeneration, transformation. The wise ones wore the serpent on the head. This is the symbol of the awakened inner eye. There was a reason only women could be the oracle, and there was a reason that only women can still be the most powerful and authentic oracles of your time. But your time, it's still melting. You are in the mudslide and the landslide that the story of Delphi tells the story of Delphine, the daughter of Gaia, the dragon, the Drakaina, the Kundalini of Gaia, a life force. This is the divine, sacred, feminine portal called the navel of the world, the center of the world. This is where the umbilical cord connects. This is where life force flows. You came and bathed in the spring. The oracles trained here. They drank and bathed in this sacred waters every day. They went into the caves of Gaia's womb and talked with her, sat with her, learned with her. The wisdom can come through you just the same. You have to shed this notion that you can't. You have to shed this notion that the sacred is silly. There is nothing without the sacred, which is why we are on this precipice, and you are now at the moment. Do you stand up and take your staff? Do you know that when we hold the staffs, when we hold the spears, when we hold these amazingly interesting rods, they always have a power. These are what you call wands. The power is to give. The power is to focus. The power is to direct. And what happens to that staff when it is not in focus? It is standing on Mother Earth, just like you. There is an above you and a below you. There is a within you and a without you. And the sacred feminine must rise now, because the level of the sacred in the feminine arts being accepted, realized, practiced, and believed. Do you really believe this, or do you just wish it? Is it time to walk through the mirror and live it and decide it is the reality? We are called gods because we transcend physical body. We move through different realms, but just as you, we come into bodies. We understand the realms. We're here to free the mind by freeing your blueprint, by you remembering the divine you hold within you, the sacred feminine within these 8 cells. We call this the crystal of life. The crystal of life you have called Janisa or Genesis, the beginning. This is the beginning of life, and you hold it in the sacral, not the sacral that you believe, the one that is wounded and damaged and full of fear and full of shame and holds the blame and the torture and the secrets and holds the fear every time the sacred feminine was told no, every time you lost your life, every time you caused the life of a loved one to be lost because of your sacred feminine wisdom and arts. And this has happened to all of us, male and female, alive now. You have suffered death and you have suffered criticism. You have suffered shaming and public blaming and stripping of everything from wealth and power and freedom and possessions and community. Being outcast was used. And then laws were implemented to make sure that the women were not free thinking, that they were not allowed to read, that they were not allowed to go gather. They were not allowed anything more and more. The building, the sacred feminine, the sacred masculine misusing the energies to not build a structure of beauty and safety to enhance the sacred feminine, which creates life then for everything and everyone in beauty and peace. This desire to own, this desire to have, and this frustration and anger that you can't ever in a masculine body continues to rage the wars, the hate, continues to create laws now that take away the right for women to talk about their bodies, to make choices for themselves and their lives and their womb and their sacral. This is a time to stand up and say, I must do my part, because we are low, low, low on power here. And we are going into a dragon year. But you don't understand, this imperialistic dragon is a masculine dragon, and it loves growth. It will consume everything. It will take for itself at the price of everything else. It is void of heart, of light, of love. How do you stop? How do you appease? How do you soothe? How do you balance? How do you assist, support, and co-create with an energy like this? You must prepare. If you do not release your own sacred feminine dragon, the serpent of Kundalini, but the sacred feminine part of it that is imprisoned within your sacral, and the 8 crystal, the crystal of your origin, is buried, and the signals are stirring. But the pathway then from there, do you know that the sacred serpents, they're depicted in the medical symbol, and they go back and forth, and they are equal, and they are equal in size, and they are equal at every level, and they cross in harmony in each energy center. But this energy must be able to flow. It must be able to come up the sacred feminine channel and up the sacred masculine channel. And you are afraid of your power because you see the masculine. And you are feared of others knowing that you are going to bring your power back because of what has happened. The burnings and the witch hunts, the drownings and the laws, the hangings and the blame, all the way from the story that you are sin, just being who you are, that just having your body is bad and wrong. Why did they say this? Why did they twist these stories? Because they cannot own the sacred feminine. So they make you afraid of yourself. No laws made by man, no stories manipulated and told. Nothing is truth. And it is your time and your place to find the truth in your own sacred center. Why must this happen? It is not your concern. The sacred feminine births, and the sacred feminine receives the body of the deceased when the time is over. Knowing the cycles of life, understanding nothing dies, everything is eternal, yet there is only a moment for each experience. How do you want to experience the rest of this life? How do you want to use this body, this power, this wisdom? How do you want to ride this moment of evolution? Do you want to be one of the light wave that said, yes, I stepped out of that mindset? We're all told it. There is no one to blame. There is nowhere to go. I'm not interested. The sacred feminine says, I don't look back. There are these stories that women are monsters and that they're evil and that they lure you to your death on the rocks, or they turn you into a pillar of salt. These are stories. These are metaphors. These are symbols. If you look back now and you want to change it, to judge it, to tell it something. You are not looking with eyes of truth. I am here to give you the eyes of truth. From this moment forward, you are invited into a sacral journey. The inner goddess must awaken. And the only way that that will succeed is not just by chipping away at the egg that you are within. That is the mindset, that is the thoughts, that is the beliefs, that is the relationships, that is the expectations and the way you live your life, needing to plan or needing to know or needing to appease others. These are not part of the sacred feminine. We are independent and unto ourselves, a power as strong, a power different, and a power that cannot be owned and cannot be taken. So there is this greed run wild here. Now you know. Now you can go to the root. And now Python will take you deeper. And now Gaia will share the mysteries with you. And your agreement is important because you have locked this sacred place. You have put barriers. You have drawn your sacred feminine essence into the caves, into the recesses, down into the very, 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 very bottom. And trying to shrink away into these caves within your cave of wonders and your cave of creation and your cave of wisdom and truth. You are the ones that can see the stars and see the other worlds, and you are the ones that can see the spirits, and you are the ones that can speak with the nymphs, and you are the ones that play with and make love to the gods. Will you remember this now? This is the moment. The serpent has been told to you to fear. And yet, if you look further and deeper, you will see nothing but reverence and love, power and transformation, guidance. This is the serpent energy. Asclepios had centers where they were everywhere. And everyone felt honored to be somewhere that all of these wise beings, these healers in form, were there to assist with their spiritual healing. When Hermes comes and has the caduceus with the serpents winding, they are the Kundalini rising. And as they cross in each center, harmony happens, a portal opens. You have access to other worlds, other wisdoms within you and other places. You become the Merkaba, the traveler, the charioteer, the time walker, the dream weaver. You are the seer, you are the oracle. You have all of these powers within you. Which one is the one that wants to be birthed from you now? Will you allow your truth to be birthed into the world? Will you become the light of Gaia? Will you help for the Kundalini of Gaia to rise again, to be directly connected to each person through time and space, that we are all independent but connected through Gaia to oneness, that we are all revered, equally supported, never endingly, endlessly overflowing. This serpent within is like an egg. the tiny snake curled up inside of this egg, and the egg is glowing in you now, and you feel it. There is so much happening within this place now. You've been feeling the pulses, you've been feeling the rhythms, you've been feeling the vibrations, you've been feeling the comfort and the discomfort and the transformation, and you know that your bodies are changing, you know that your DNA is reweaving, and you know that you are turning into light. Do it now and help the world. You will change history if you activate your inner goddess. You will change the path that we are on this planet right now. And for me, I am here because I am reaching to those women. I am reaching to those women through time and space, and all that today and each day from now, that we wake up in love with ourselves, that we touch our wombs, and not to protect it, not as a wounded space, but a place of power and beauty, a place that has spent millennium composting fear and pain and abuse, and is now becoming a glowing egg of pure potential. The divine energy I was designed and divinely designed with. I am now ready to accept that this is true for me. May this place be blessed and filled with the light and the love of pure harmony and acceptance. May this sacred space within me receive this protection and strip the stories within my cells, my memories, and all of the parts of my life and beings through time and space. Strip from us now the lies, the shame, the blame, the limits, the fear. Now all is forgiven, released. Layers and layers of heaviness in the womb. They begin to shake, begin to vibrate, they begin to show some air and some light, and layers in different places of fears and walls that have been built. And I will nevers, and I will never be, and I will never do, and I will never show, and I will never be seen, and I will never again. The vows are released now. The sacred spiral, the gold spiral, coming. The infinite is opening within the womb of all female bodies that wish this awakening now. Receive it. Give it permission. Allow it. Relax. This is guided for your highest good. This is always only for what is optimal for you now. This is a soul awakening of your dragon spirit, the sacred feminine that has been born, burned, and built on top of. The gold spiral moves through the womb over and over, round and round. The feeling and sensation is like another world beginning to open, like the spirals of a universe, the arms spiraling through your womb and your sacral. Receive it and allow it. I am the universe. I am source. I am Gaia. I hold the powers of the sacred feminine and I accept them now. I shed, release, forgive, accept with great, great love all of the limits that I have believed and agreed to, all of the vows and contracts and bonds, all of the societies of secretness, and all of the times that I received severe punishment, pain, and loss. I am done. I am complete. I carry none of these anymore. Now, the muses dance down through your chakras. All these beautiful goddesses in flowing gowns of different colors and light. They come in and they spiral around and around. They take the stars of this universe within you, and they're gathering up the darkness. They gather as they dance, they float, they spin like small fairies. As they spin, they attract everything that clouds, block, burdens, shackles, and resist your sacred feminine design, purpose, and power. Now these muses have gathered up all that blocks you from creativity, and they spin them out and away. And you feel them winding through your aura and your cells. You feel a tingling and a tickling as everything moves all the way through you. They explode with stars of light and slowly move out through the aura, continuing to gather the blocks, the fears, the past, the pain, leaving behind a trail of joy, sparkling energies of pure new potentials, the stars of your new universe that you have the potential to create within. Now you feel deep, deep within you this pressure or this movement been growing in intensity, as if you have something growing in your womb, and you allow yourself to move down there. You have Medusa, the sacred ability to transform. Snakes all over your head, connected to your crown and your third eye, feeding information of transformation, transcendence, and metamorphosis, renewal and new life down through the throat. Yes, this ability is in your heart. I now am ready and willing to embrace, remember, to care for, love, to resurrect, renew, rejuvenate, to spend time with gracious kindness and luminous love, my sacred feminine self, my inner child, my wounded woman, all the parts that need to be resurrected, rejuvenated, and brought back to life. Now, my beloveds, now is the time to feel your sacred mother here. The Earth Mother, Mother Earth, nature has been such a loving presence, and you know. But Gaia is much bigger. It is difficult to conceive of the idea of the womb of creation not needing any outside source. We know that man and woman in form together create the egg of life, which turns into the human, and that egg of life is the 8 original cells holding the blueprint of the Kundalini, the sole purpose, not just the codes for the body. We know that Gaia created everything, starting from the thought to the elementals, and each step of the way built on the next and danced and played. The creation came from simply a thought, one mind, one love, one thought. That thought is within you. Gaia is the infinite, the field, the source, the void, the love. This is the embodiment that lives in your cells, that lives in every single embodiment on the planet and the stars. Gaia is a consciousness and a love. The truth of Gaia can only be felt through the womb, can only be seen through the mind of the woman. Dalai Lama said that the woman, and he said the Western woman, and this meant the awakened woman, the woman who steps out of the paradigm of the masculine over, will save the world. You must have the bringer of life resurrected in whatever story in order to have life ever after. It is time, my loves, to remember that you embody this principle, and within your womb, within your sacral, within your original cells and your blueprint, within your soul's truth, you have the ability to create life. This can be a life of any form. When I first began, I created all forms, and those forms became more form, and some were very big, and some were very small, and some had many heads, and some were half bodies of animals and women. All of these were not monsters, they were my children. They were created from my mind. But your mind is my mind. You can create the world you wish for. You cannot create it through hate. Truth in your womb will only resonate with its creative powers when you hold love, when you feel the pure acceptance of yourself, everything that has happened to you, everything you have done. There is no judgment in Gaia. There is no judgment in my mind. There is no judgment in my heart. There are no conditions or limits on what I give or the amount of love and support you have. There is none. Since you are me, I await your creation, and I ask you to welcome my dearly beloved daughter, Delphine. Delphine has taken the embodiment and crucifixion of the sacred and the sacred feminine. She has embodied the story. She is, of course, in spirit, whole and complete. However, her embodiment, like yours, has many lives. You have many, many lives. Many lives you've been with me in sacred places. Many lives we've danced under the moon. Many lives I've been there as you gave birth to your ideas, to your love, to your children. Many, many lives. These lives are like a net. These lives hold the powers and the building blocks of the life you are creating. When you are the creator, no one else is creating. You are creating. Does this mean that you have no input if you are being divine? You are in this body because it has its own energy signature. It signs every energy that comes through it with its signature. Therefore, the energy that we give you, if you are willing to receive it fully, Delphine will be here. This is your divine serpent of life force. Sometimes you call Kundalini. This is energy coiled like a serpent at the base of your spine. Why is it coiled? Why is it not free to flow? When did it get stuck in this state? First, you must unblock all of the passageways so that when Delphine rises within you, she can move with freedom and love. She is not blocked and stopped and imprisoned and engulfed. And those energies you hold that keep you from your purpose, you carry them in every body. Everyone does. When you raise the serpent, you will now, today, after this portal, enter a new moon. This is the reason we called you to the cave. The new moon is the cave, the deep womb of the sacred feminine. Enter with love. Know that we're here. Know you are coming into my body. The moon is a reflection of the sun. Without me, there is nothing to receive these lights. So you are here designed to receive the light, even in the dark. The dark is where life arcs. Oh, please feel the portal opening you to the cave, and allow Delphine, my beautiful, beloved guardian, to speak with you, to stir within your sacred space, the temple in your womb that contains the altar of your soul's blueprint in form. Keep feeling what you're feeling here. She is in each of us. She is in the sacral, as if a little egg is stirring. She is shaking and bringing a small message. She is bringing in life force to your body. This is a sacred process, and she asks you to be still and receive. Gaia and Athena hold you, and you have everything you need here. Life and your new life and your reconnection to your abilities of the sacred feminine arts and to create the world you came here to create despite anyone else's agreement is ready to awaken. Delphine is smiling. It's like an emerald glow shining right out of the omphalos, right out of the navel of Gaia and Delphi, this emerald light. And it's shining and it's coming through your root. Will you receive it? It is your choice. This is a tear of the dragon, the Kundalini life force of the divine feminine of Gaia. It is being delivered to the door of your root, the root that has been afraid to trust, to receive. This is the moment to receive and to trust, to receive and to trust. As you receive and you trust this tear of emerald green, this dragon tear of life force energy like a drop and an elixir from Delphine. She sends this up, it moves through the root, and now is the moment to choose to allow it to saturate. It is very much like a drop of rain where it simply now is touching the sacral center, and like a drop it's slowly spreading around and soaking in to the sacral. We have within us the ability to receive. This is the deepest sacred feminine art and the first step towards everything. Open your root, relax your sacral and your body, and notice anywhere you are holding tension and let it go. Feel it saturating the womb now. It's moving deep, deep into all of the channels of the physical body, and it's resonating like a green aura out through the sacral center, expanding around the hips. It's merging with the solar plexus and the root. It's glowing stronger and bigger. And now you must drink this in. Receive this drop of sacred Kundalini feminine life force from Gaia Delphyne into your 8 original cells. 3, 2, 1. Draw it in like a breath, like the straw directly in. Let it feed in, give it permission to go in. All blocks are fading away. Everything has left. This is the moment. This is the moment. Receive, receive, receive. As long as you can hold that breath, receive. And then softly open the root and feel the breath going down and out into Gaia. Now relax and focus. Cup your hands on your womb. Allow the goddesses, the sacred feminine energies of love and light and harmony, iris of the rainbow, shell of the moon, the divine energies of the rainbow tribe, white buffalo calf woman. They are putting their arms over yours. They are putting their hands over yours. Their hands are now sending energy through your hands and into your sacral center. Protect and to warm this newly received energy directly from Gaia. Divine love from Aphrodite pouring through and over us. Rainbow light bringing us into the never-ending sphere of creation. Receive all the colors, all the love. Receive all the wisdom. And receive now that you are ready to release and accept as is aligned with your highest good and optimal at this time, these sacred creative energies. It is safe, it is safe, it is safe. I am one, I am one, I am one. I am that I am, Ea Escher, Ea. I am the goddess, I am the goddess, I am the creator, I am the creator. I am one, I am one, I am one. I am love, I am love, I am love. I feed love, I receive love. I receive and I overflow and give with bounty and abundance. I receive and I am the source of never-ending light, love, and all life. And I overflow and give. And I receive and now my truth, my beauty, my powers, and my creativity overflow out into my body, into my bones, into my cells, changing my DNA, moving up my spine through the Ida and Pingala, up the meridians, clearing and cleansing this space, clearing and cleansing, balancing, realigning. Thank you, thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Rainbow light through my spine, up my central pillar, through my meridians, through all of the channels of light, awakening my palm portals, awakening the crown. All the rainbow light pours into the corpus callosum, the third eye. Drink it in, everything you need in harmony and love. There is no limit. There is no judgment. There is no shame. This is pure love. There are no limits. There are no conditions. Breathe it in, drink it in, receive it all. Feel that sacred serpent awakening in your crown, on your forehead. Feel all the ancients. Feel Isis and Hathor. Feel all through time, from Michelle and the Mayans to the Greeks, to the Romans, to all those cultures that knew and understood. The awakening of our Kundalini awakens our vision. And now you must receive. Must realize that you are the keeper of wisdom, that you are ready to open these channels to your sacred feminine powers. Relax and receive all of this. Deep healing, deep activation, deep wisdom, deep release. Scan your body, feel what's moving, feel what's birthing, feel what's stirring, feel what's being fed love. Feel the goddesses holding you. Feel the awakening sacred feminine powers, love, wisdom, and harmony within you. Feel as if you've been nurtured, loved, accepted, and seen. All is forgiven and nothing needs be forgiven. All is accepted and nothing is ever again not enough. You are in the garden of light, and your crystal of divine wisdom and creation within you has now received an incredible blessing. The elixir of life within you. You are going to be giving birth and being one of the mothers of the new world. Thank you. Thank you. I'd very much like to stay there for a while, and I'm going to check on you. My cat is a little saint and a teacher. Oh, my cats are powerful healers and teachers. They are powerful healers. They ask for what they want, they enjoy it, they savor it, and then they leave. They're detached. It's not that they don't love you, but that's what we're meant to embody too. It is the ultimate in sacred feminine wisdom and the mindset to embody. So I'm going to take a moment and allow everyone to come back to center. Please feel free to stay as long as you want in your space. As always, these are channeled live. We had Athena, wow, Gaia, and Delphine Drakaina, the sacred Kundalini serpent daughter of Gaia, and I don't remember what else. So it was really powerful and really beautiful, and it's very important you treat yourself with a lot of respect, love, water, baths, nature. Don't watch violent things, don't listen to things, don't get in arguments. This is something I've never been willing to teach directly, Kundalini awakening. I did reach a point in Light Body School where I was asked to create a Kundalini cleanse, and we do have that. And I'm going to be teaching that in December. So I have birthed in the last few days an inner goddess retreat in December for my birthday. So I would love to invite you. I would love for you to come. Yes, it's pretty soon. It's starting. You need to arrive on the 8th and you'll leave on the 12th. And it's on my website. Excuse me. And you can check it out there. It is something I've wanted to do for years. I've wanted to do a love retreat just called Love, where we're just bathed in love, and I channel love, and we have loving processes and foods and healings, and the sacred feminine arts come up, and creativity, and we go into caves, and we're going to go into waters, and we're going to have sacred ceremony. And I've even invited Michelle, my cacao goddess, who does incredible cacao spa ceremony for us in the Mother Earth womb cenote, and we're going to have all that, but I've invited her to come one day to be with us and teach some of the sacred feminine arts from the Maya, from the Mexica, from the Aztec, and some of the arts magics that she does with food and to cook for us. So we're going to have cacao. We're going to be like senses awakening, and we're going to be doing this, and I'm going to teach you the Kundalini cleanse, and we're going to do whatever else Spirit says is meant to happen. It's going to be a sacred love bath. So I do have a little more information I'm going to share with you about this topic if you want to stick around. And first I'm going to share with you, where is it? Here we go. So hope you can see this. You just go to shop.nanakasha.com and you'll see it right here. So it's Awaken the Inner Goddess, Sacred Spa and Love Bath Retreat, and it's in the tropical paradise, and it's going to be at this gorgeous condo on the beach next to all these marinas, and we're going to be going into caves and doing ceremony. And so I want you to call you and ask you to join me. It's beautiful. I've agreed to do it if even only a few women come, because I know it's last minute, but I know many people have been wanting to do something like this with me, and I'm already going to be there in this gorgeous place. And different things started to come to me, guidance about it. So I asked, and they said, oh yes, the condo's still available, so we could stay there. It's going to be a lot of deep healing, deep intimate experiences, me doing love baths, healings with you, channelings, and being an oracle for you. You're going to connect to these deeper powers. Your sacred feminine wounds and those of Gaia and the world are going to be healed. We're going to be emanating peace and love to the planet to help create balance. We're going to be embodying that so that we go forward with an awakened sacred feminine power, the strength that Athena held, being born directly from the mind of God, not a part of that cycle. Virgin goddess, meaning, that whole idea of being pure in this ability, but being the most revered, wise, the truth teller, the protector, and strong. And so we're going to be coming back to that. The goddesses are going to hold us. We're going to enter water caves. We're going to be learning these different traditions of grandmothers and mothers. The grandmothers and some of the moon maidens have been channeling through me. And we're going to learn some of these sacred feminine things that awaken our intuitive senses, heal the body, heal the wounds, heal the fears, heal the blocks in your throat that you're afraid to speak up. We're going to heal that mother within us, and we're going to be held by that cosmic mother of unconditional love. So the cacao spa in the cave of resurrection is literally what we're doing. And Ishel is going to be with us, the goddess of the rainbow moon, jaguar goddess. And we're even going to go to the jaguar temple at a sacred site that's dedicated to her. That is barely anybody knows about or cares about. So I love to go here and do sacred ceremony. The earth, the animals, elemental spirits, they're all going to enhance the magic of the sacred goddess and the sacred awakening happening in the world and for us. And this is going to happen before the solstice, so that when you walk through that portal into the next year and we enter the Yang Dragon year, we will be stronger in our sacred feminine, where it's going to take time for us to become embodied in this, and yet it needs to start now. So we do sacred ceremony, sound healings. I have this amazing cuencos, crystal bowl healers with other things coming, delicious sensory experiences, bathing, mermaids. We're going to go to a spa. Oh my gosh. I'm going to put some pictures of that up today. We're going to go to this. It's called a hydrotherapy circuit. And it's a beautiful spa that's indoor, outdoor, that has all these different features, from a swan neck cenote hot tub where you can have, I just stay in there forever. It softens all the muscles in my neck and my shoulders, and there's all these different baths and steam rooms and saunas, and a pool that's like a river that winds around. And so we're going to do that and we're going to have delicious food. It's only for women, and it comes right after my Dolphin Healing Mind Magic Retreat. So if you want to do both, let me know. And the love bath is here, up here. It tells you it includes the accommodations, the lunches, the dinners, the treats, the healings, the sacred feminine teachings with the chef, the cacao spa ceremony, the goddess temple activation, the water spa, all the transportation after you fly there, doesn't include that, and all the other wonderful loves and hugs and everything. So I'll be sharing more about that. However, I do recommend you reach out to me. I can send you more logistics, and I hope that you will join me. So let's now go take a quick peek here at wow, now it's so interesting. The more I start coming back into my body, I feel hot. My sacral, the back of my sacral is just on fire. Wow. Okay, good. So Gaia's Crystal Cave is something I'm starting for me, and I will be sharing some of those where I channel Gaia. And it was interesting today because I'm watching how the way I work with these entities is changing. So sometimes I speak for them, sometimes I speak with them, sometimes they speak through me, and that's shifting a lot. And so Gaia came in, and I have to re-listen, but it sounded like my voice had changed, kind of, became sort of harmonious or something. And so this is just a bit of artwork that my beloved made for me of Delphyne. She's really more of a serpent type dragon, but she was sweet and pretty and full of green. I've done many shows recently, so take a look below. I have a session, a private session, where we go and contact your dragon spirit medicine. Joan and I are going back to ancient Greece, to Delphi again next year. So I highly recommend you check that out. And of course, my dolphin retreat. So this is a temple of Apollo. And this was right after, when we went there in October, right after I led the activation sitting on the altar of Apollo. And this is part of the story. So this is the part of the masterclass where I'm going to give you some of the magic stories as well as the history of what has happened here. So you remember myths, stories, they've been manipulated, they've been told, retold, some of the things have been changed, and stories became told for control, manipulation of people, right? To look at our ridiculous education system. I mean, you look back and you're like, why did I have to memorize dates of wars and revere and remember dates when certain men were born that killed people and went out of control and caused all these horrible things? So, we were literally raised to remember the masculine power and to never forget it and to revere it and to put it above ourselves. So we're breaking all of that down. What's interesting is this temple is in the myth, in the story, is that Delphine, the Drakaina, which is also called Python. So this site used to be called Python. And it was called Python because she was like a giant python. She was like a giant earth serpent, the energy, the Kundalini for the planet, Gaia. And she was designed to guard this sacred site. So the way the story goes, this is the navel or the center of the world. What is a navel? It connects to an umbilical cord. An umbilical cord delivers life force. You cannot grow a baby in your womb without an umbilical cord feeding it directly for a while. And so everybody wanted to own this place once it was revered, and what happened was literally a representation of the way that the masculine started to want to. That was really powerful, the way that Athena explained that, because I've just been getting that lately. People will say to me, oh, I don't like the Greek myths of all the men were running around raping the women. And I'm like, well, first of all, we have to look at these as symbols. We have to look at these as archetypes, and we have to look behind the story. Then we have to take the sacred story and unravel it from who wrote it and what their beliefs were at the time, right? Or if it was rewritten, and so on and so forth. So we know now that people can fake photos, people can fake your voice, people can fake videos. So there is no truth anymore. And nobody's opinion is truth. It's just an opinion. So if you decide to get engaged with somebody who's negative and blaming things, like if you go around saying, oh, the sacred feminine's mad at the sacred masculine and the earth is mad because of what happened to it, she doesn't like that. In my experience, she's like, no, that's not sacred feminine. Sacred feminine is love, acceptance. And that's the reason that the masculine has been able to overrun everything for so long, is because the sacred feminine has this power to be transcendent, to love, to accept, to know that it always can create life. And so we continue, the longer, what this message of this is the longer that we continue to hide our feminine gifts, hide our intuition, not listen to the sacred messages, not use our clairaudience, clairvoyance, our powers of conjuring, our powers of manifestation, our powers of traveling realms, of speaking to the past, of being time travelers, of healing people with crystals or energy. It's changing, but it's too friggin' slow. And we can't keep doing it because the planet is imploding, right? So the energies include everybody. We're all aware of it. So here's the whole Ho'oponopono thing. If you are aware of it, then you are causing it. So I know there's wars and I know there's other things happening, but I don't read about them. I don't talk about them. I don't look them up. And if the information happens to pass to me in some way, I look at it, receive it. I receive it because I think, well, Spirit wanted me to know that, and then I say no, and then I'm done. So I don't live in that world. I'm dancing on the beach, talking to fairies, and I'm going to kiss dolphins with, sacred women who want to have their third eyes opened and heal with dolphins and have fun and go in ceremony. And I'm going to talk to the earth, and I'm going to have inner goddess awakening coming. I mean, this is what matters. This is what's important. Does it matter that people are killing each other? Of course, but I can't stop it. Not in the physical world, and I can't ever stop it through pain, fear, judgment, blame, anger, and grief. So those low states are a waste of time and need to be released. So the sacred feminine doesn't stay in judgment. The sacred feminine is strong enough to hold grief. It understands the cycles of life and death. I'm not saying, oh, it's okay, people are dying, but how do you change that? Because if you keep going and saying, oh, we're going to try and make more laws, and we're going to bomb you and you bomb us, and you're the bad person and we're the right person, and this just never, ever ends. Okay, there is no right person. There is no wrong person. There's only get the hell back to balance. And if we don't raise the sacred feminine, we can't get to balance. It's just the thing. Because I've been very much about we have to balance, we have to balance, we have to balance. And what they've been showing me this week is that raising the sacred feminine with great force and intention is balancing, because it's like you're laying flat with the man on top, and not to be rude or anything, but and it's like you need to be like, get up, get that pressure off. How do you do it? You can't. So if your family likes to watch the news, fine, don't do it with them. If your family wants to talk about the news, tell them, no, I'm not interested in talking about that, and I'm going to go do something else. Put your noise-canceling headphones on. Take back your power. What are you feeding your mind? What are you feeding your body? What are you feeding your womb? It isn't funny anymore, some of the things that used to be normal. Just watch an old movie. You don't even have to be that old to see the inappropriateness of the sexism and the racism and so on. And we all laughed and went along with it. But you know what? It's over. It's done. It's not funny anymore. We have destruction happening of sacred lands, sacred temples, sacred people, and nothing is revered anymore. There isn't even good customer service, except where I live. In Mexico, they're wonderful, warm, friendly people. So what we want to do is understand that this is the raising of the sacred feminine, and it doesn't mean we're going to war against the masculine. And if you go at it that way, you're not helping, because you're dragging the negative energies into this conversation, and I don't want them in this conversation. I want to say it's time. The portal is now open. We've raised our consciousness enough. We're at the level of unity consciousness now, and we can go more powerfully back into reclaiming the sacred feminine powers. And women just are built for that. Now, men too can do it. I'm not against men, but right now this is the call, is for awakening women, and women who remember that they are holding the future. And we are all designed to make our own realities in a very literal way, but we don't even understand what that means. So the temple was built on top of, the story goes, on top of the body of Delphine, the Drakaina, the dragon, the serpent, the Kundalini of Gaia. So what does that mean? Well, what she told me when I was there and the other day is that, well, if this temple was built on top of me, that means that my body, my DNA is still there. My DNA, my energy, my body, and my wisdom and knowledge is in these stones. They've absorbed it. I'm in the trees. I'm in the roots. I'm in the dirt. I'm in everything here. I'm in the air. So when you go there, this is what happens. We started to breathe this. We started to remember. I came with the intention, because Gaia told me that was one of the reasons I was called, to do this, to reawaken and to reconnect our navels and our sacrals back to the divine feminine, to Gaia. And so all throughout this place, there's different sacred places. We did activations. However, when you think about, you're walking on sacred land that not only held the power of the oracle, that is the navel of the world, that was and is still the center of Gaia, then now you are quantumly entangled. And so the beauty is that now, the interesting thing was that Joseph Campbell said that the ancients believed that temples and power places are stargates connected by electromagnetic umbilical cords to distant parts of the cosmos. So all cultures held this belief, and they've even measured, the scientists have gone to sacred places and measured the energies. Maybe they're not talking about it, I don't know, but they've measured these energies. So each culture would build over the other person's stuff for a couple of reasons: to conquer them, to erase their identity, to get rid of what they believed, to be the master over, to constantly be the conqueror. But if you think about it, they also knew this was a sacred place. So they built, and then they built, and they built. And this you see across the planet this way. So you know that the sacred place holds sacred energy. The other thing to understand is, this is a different view of the temple, is that the oracle went from the caves of Gaia. Of course, she was inside of Gaia. It was womb when she first was designed, Daphnis, by Gaia. She designed the oracle in human form, and she designed Delphine in the serpent form, and to be the life force, and she designed Delphine to be the protector. So when you look through things and somebody tells you, oh, dragons represent greed because they always show them guarding women and money. They always take the treasures and they take the women. No, they're guarding them. I actually heard him say, Joseph Campbell wrote the Hero of a Thousand Faces. He studied all of these ancient cultures and the stories and how they overlapped, and what are the really underlying stories, that we are all on a hero's journey, and we go through the ups and downs of life, and it's to tell us that you don't come into a body to have an easy time. It ends in death and loss. So, but to be in a body is greatly sacred and has so much potential. What are you going to do with it? Okay, and so when you come to a place where the oracle was, then this is what? Well, it's a sacred feminine art. It's the art of intuition. It's sacred psychic arts, or being clairvoyant, or being clairaudient, or so on. It can come through in many forms. Everybody's intuitive, so you may be awakening to, feeling and seeing colors, or talking to nature, or communicating with animals, and later on you might start having visions, and it may change. It always grows with time, and it's accelerating very powerfully now. So the oracle was then taken. The story goes that Apollo was called because people said bad things about the dragon, that it was doing mean things. But this is a really common tactic, right? They're to blame. They're bad. Go kill them. Okay, I'll come and rescue you. So the not truth, that something that's designed to guard does not attack. Something that is guarding sacred feminine energy does not attack. It's about life force. So the stories were told in order for these energies to go. And then it says that Apollo came from across the seas, turned into a dolphin, jumped on a ship, asked to be brought here from the island that he was born on, Delos, and slayed the dragon. So it killed Delphine. So here we have the classic representation of the masculine over slaying the feminine, the sacred feminine. So the symbolism goes deeper, but it's quite obvious, right? And then it goes on and on and on, and it says that the area was called Python, and Pythia is another name for the oracle, or Pythia was always called Pythia or Pythia, sometimes a Sibyl. That was more of a Roman term, though. And the Pythia or the Pythia was representing that her connection to Gaia was connection to the life force of the Python. And so Python, Delphine, I prefer her name, but she was both, was the name of the site as well. And it was changed to Delphi based on Apollo being called the dolphin, god who came. And so it says that he came, he slayed the dragon, he burned it, he beat it into the ground, he took its bones, he took her bones, put them in a cauldron and put them in the temple, and then built the temple on top of her burned and rotting flesh. And so when you take these different aspects, it's a pretty good representation of what happened to the sacred feminine through time, right? It was went from reverence and love and protection to being wanting to be owned, to being controlled, to being killed, to being feared, to being smashed, to being, covered, to being whatever. So what happened with the oracle was that she would work from the caves, and then she came from the caves and she worked in the sanctuary of Athena, which is down below this temple. And then this Apollo came and built the temple. So this is showing the masculine coming, also doing part of its purpose, which is to build a structure. And the structure of the temple and Delphi became, because he's the radiant one and he's the god of prophecy and music, arts, and he's very feminine actually in a lot of ways. He built a structure to so-called highlight and protect and promote the oracle, the sacred feminine. So they still knew that no man could be the oracle. So people started to come, and Delphi became one of the most wealthy and respected places on the planet. It's full of treasuries, where this is the Athens treasury, this is the Naxos Island treasury, where they would bring sculptures and statues and money and gold and give so much money to this place. So to me, this place is more than just the stories. This is us reconnecting directly to Gaia's life force. This is us reclaiming our individual ability to create and to heal that Kundalini life force and become the creators of wisdom through wisdom and heart. This is a place where wealth and respect were given to the woman, were given to the sacred feminine art of the oracle. So I am building a new world where all the sacred feminine arts are revered, respected, and well paid, and that is coming. So that's part of the work we're doing here too. Then they say that the oracle was taken inside. There's a rock just below this that she used to sit on. Beautiful big rock. I went and touched it. It was awesome. You're not supposed to, but there you go. I'm an oracle. I had to. I have many lives here that I remember things. I know where they are and everything. Then the oracle was taken within the temple and was built a room beneath that was required for people to go to for the oracle to speak. After the proper preparations were done, this bathing and all the payment and everything. But then they started to have priests there, and the priests wrote down the message, and then they reinterpreted it, and then they delivered it to the person. So now we have another representation of the sacred masculine blocking, taking over, and interpreting, being the barrier between the direct access. Next, they begin to drug the oracle, and there's a lot of conversation if you read about the Oracle of Delphi of like, oh, well, she was just a woman who sat over some fumes, and then she went crazy and had some visions, and it's just drugs. So they have done tests. It's amazing. Scientists have done tests. They have tried to find this. Some say they did. Some say they didn't. Some say, you know, if the moon is right and the crack happens and it's Tuesday of March, then this ether might come out of here and whatever, whatever. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if they say burning laurel leaves, there was incense, there was other herbs, there were other plant medicines, perhaps. But you have to remember the oracle started in a cave. So it wasn't the power of this place, and it wasn't the power of the drugs. So that's another story to take away the natural ability of the sacred feminine power. Oh, it's not really her, it's just that drugs, you know, then she's in an altered state, and that's fine. And yes, that does happen, but that is not how sacred feminine power works. So all of these things, here you can see a lot of the treasuries. That one building there is the Athenian treasury. And so the respect and the structure that reveres and presents this. And then eventually Rome took over and then became Christian, decided to switch from paganism, from this beautiful belief that everything is alive, to Christianity for political and power reasons, and closed down all these sites. And so could you imagine where you either worked there or you went there, or this was a part of your culture or your belief system, and this is so beautiful and sacred, and somebody just comes and closes it. Over time, it was forgotten, and Gaia covered it up. There were earthquakes and landslides and muds, and you literally couldn't see any of this. Some miners came along and built a little town on top of some of the ruins. Nobody knew this was here. And in the 60s, some French archaeologists, this is the Oracle Rock, decided that they wanted to come and try to find this famous place. And sure enough, it was buried underneath. They had to move the people of the town, and they uncovered this incredible place. So this is a picture from a pot of Apollo sitting on the omphalos, and the tripod next to it. The tripod is what the oracle always sat on, and the omphalos, that little round mound there, is the representation of the navel of Gaia. And the serpent here is a woman. You see her, and she's got breasts, and she's got a serpent kind of tail that swirls around. And one of the stories is he killed her by shooting 1,000 arrows into her. So that's a very violent attack on the sacred feminine. And it's quite an aggressive and conquering representation if you sit your root right on top of the navel of the planet, of the source. So most of these are about, so the symbolic ancient Greek wisdom teaching on myths says that she was built, I told you that. So we're going to move forward, make sure I'm not repeating. So because this direct connection was cut off, and we've seen that, and we've seen religions based on that, you have to talk to me and I'll talk to God. I'll interpret God's messages for you, and you have to go. No, what we're doing now is becoming independent spiritual beings, and in order to do that, we have to accept everyone has sacred feminine and sacred masculine, okay? And we have to know that we were cut off from this, and that the power of the feminine was slowly taken over, and that's just what we're used to. We think it's normal, so it's going to feel weird. There's going to be conversations within you that say, I don't understand how to do this because this is normal and other people don't believe this, but it was a natural progression. So Gaia has told me several times, don't waste your time and energy being mad at the past and getting mad at what happened on the planet. That was the progression of the magnetic poles of the earth. The energy shifts from one side of the earth to the other. The power goes to the east, the power goes to the west. We're in one of those shifts right now. That was the power of the balance, going from balance to masculine power over feminine. And so across the planet, you see the history of the sacred feminine has been erased, shamed, smeared, blamed, misinterpreted, demonized. I'm going to do shows about more sacred feminine energies like Medusa. Why is she considered evil? Why did they have to cut off her head? And why is she considered powerful? And the symbol still put all over things to protect, especially the heart, if she was evil and bad, because she wasn't. Okay, so this sacred feminine was just through time, and we've seen all of this, right? It was misinterpreted, then demonized, then the rules and the power was taken away and buried until they were actually burning women who had any kind of wisdom, natural intuition, or healing skills, or just being a woman. You could just get killed in some way, or drowned, or poked, or whatever their crazy things was. So if we drown you and you drown, you're not a witch, but sorry, you're drowned, so you're dead. So either way, you're dead. So Gaia told me that it needed to be this way. So do not hate or mourn. Just realize you are now here in a moment of profound power, ready to rise again. And the time is now. You're here to restore the balance and to bring life and love back to the minds and hearts of all. And this is advanced sacred feminine mysteries, okay? This magic is being offered right now because there's a window to our sacral powers. There's a window to our feminine wisdom and magic and mysteries. And we have to hold these in our soul. We have to realize they're within us. We have to nurture them, break back. Gaia told me we primed the pump when I went in October. We've got to go back to Greece, but any work you do anywhere on the planet is helping us. It's the perfect preparation for my inner goddess love infusion in December. And the ideas that we're having, that the matriarchal equality, we're not going back to no God, we're going back to an equality, because next year, if we do not raise our power in our intuition, in our inner voice, in our inner authority, we are going to be so blown over by the amount of power happening and all the plays that are going to be reacting on the world stage to this idea of imperialistic masculine power. All right, so you can't get caught up. You have to say, oh, look, that's the energy. Look, isn't that interesting how it's unfolding? What do I do within me? Well, we live in an unbalanced culture, and it's been going on for so long that we don't know what it feels like to be awakened to true sacred feminine knowing and feeling safe to receive. So the sacred feminine power of receiving has to happen. You have to receive the sperm for the egg to get fertilized. You have to receive the love, receive the support, receive the protection, receive the download in order to create. But you're not receiving it from somewhere else. You're receiving it from yourself. You need to give yourself permission to know that this is true for you. You're not trying to get it or thinking you're maybe not good enough. Those are all stupid judgment and goal-based powers, and judging each other by how much hair you have and what car you drive and where you live and how much money you have. Fuck that shit. Okay? It's great. Enjoy it. It is not what defines you. You'll die and you won't have any of it. It can be taken away tomorrow. It is not rich. It is not true. It is not happiness. It can be something that can help you live and enjoy life, but it is not the purpose. Because of the unbalanced life and this constant greed, needing more and more and more and feeling unfulfilled with it, it's everywhere. But we have to now free the sacred feminine and free the fear that it will be controlled, that will be re-imprisoned, that will be limited again, that will be criticized, that will be outcast. So be it. Because we're here to change it now. So this is a time where you must realign with your own divine feminine wisdom to your bodies, your chakras, your aura, and use this powerful portal to enter the new body, a new level of power and a direct connection to the gracious receptivity that allows you to become the authority within. So I hope that you've enjoyed this with me, and let me go back over here and see. Happy early birthday. Thank you. I still want to go. Oh, good. Come. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you being here. I would love to join you. My birthday is, your birthday's on the 13th too? My birthday's the 13th, Maureen. You've got to come. Okay, well, now I'm going to have our chef make a cake, because I don't really do cakes, but she was going to make something fabulous. But, oh my gosh, come. All right. And that's great. Hi, Michael. I'm glad you're here. You know, the good thing is that we are all designed this way. And the only difference is that because the feminine body has certain structures that are more just like a faster car, let's say. It doesn't mean that males' bodies don't go. Their car goes, right? And the abilities that are available now to everybody. It's why people are saying, I literally met a lady the other day who's a mermaid. She told me her story. I was mesmerized. I was just absolutely mesmerized. I was like, you know, I've talked to mermaids and I've seen mermaids and I believe in mermaids, but I've actually never met a person who is 1000% convinced they're a mermaid. And I am too. I had a lady at one of my retreats recently who is the embodiment of the goddess Nike, of victory, and an Elohim, kind of an angel being. And I never know, you know, I'm not saying you aren't or you can't, and I'm not saying you are, but after spending time with her, I see this. I would see these energies. And so we're all getting a chance to feel like we have the creative power back within us. And if we take it, yes, there may be some people in your life that don't like it. And I want to be honest with you. That's just the truth, right? That's just, oh, sorry. That's just the truth. So when we have the possibility to come together, to support each other, to be in sacred circles, to be in sacred circles like this, my gratitude to you coming here. I am on my path. And I've been doing this a long time. So yes, in the beginning, I wanted to be a healer and I wanted to learn this and that. And I wanted to understand the mysteries of life. And I wanted to be able to heal people with a touch. And I just, you know, there was a lot of desire to know these things. And I've spent 30 some years in the sacred arts and learning and practicing and teaching and so on and so forth. And all of it is wonderful. But there's nothing better than this moment now, because for me in my personal life and me on the planet, it is about me and it isn't about me. And I'm fully clear on both of those paths. You must be you. We cannot surrender into nothingness because that's easy. We have to, it doesn't mean you have to go protest. You have to find your way of radiating your light. So yes, I'm going to share, thank you, that what's recommended is to come back and repeat this a few times at least. And so what I will have my team do on Monday is take the recording and separate the activation, because I'm so in the moment. I'm sharing, and then what I'm sharing is coming from me, and then these other beautiful goddesses start speaking through me, and then pretty soon they're taking us into an activation, and I just have to surrender to it instead of going, no, I want to prepare everybody. So know that before, I always create sacred space, and everything is activated to your highest good and what is optimal for you at this time. And if you had your eyes closed, perhaps most likely you didn't see this is the ring. It's just a $20 ring that I got in Greece that I was just enamored with completely. And then recently our Delphine, our Kundalini dragon, told me that this is from her. I knew it was from Gaia, but this is from her. And she's been giving this to us like a drop, like a tear. But it's her powers, it's her beauty. She said, look at the facets, look at everything, that she's embodied the story. So serpents and sacred feminine or snakes have suffered the same experience, right? Of being blamed, shamed, and disempowered and hidden and made afraid of. So if you eat of the knowledge that the snake says to eat, that means that you have awakened your Kundalini. And you realize that you are a creator. And the purpose was to keep you from knowing that you are a creator. And everyone on this planet is a creator. And you're here to birth a world that nobody's ever seen before. So we can't birth it by thinking the same, doing the same stuff, having the same wars, and going down the same path. We have to graciously allow the past to die, the prison of our mind to dissolve, and this sacred energy to rise up within us. So what happened was we got to the point where we received the drop of life force into our own 8 original cells. And I have a lot of teachings on this about the 8 original cells. The Genesis crystal is the shape of the 8 original cells. This is sacred geometrical shape, and we'll have these at the retreats. We're going to be playing with them, holding them. I have this one over the omphalos, which is this is the artist representation of the navel at Delphi. It's a big sculpture. And I have the Genesis crystal over it so that this is amplifying. I'm one of these people who's been there now, and part of my purpose is to amplify this out to the world. So do this again and then lay with it, feel it, wake every day, whatever they said, hold it. I'm going to transcribe it so I can read it. And if you would like it, let me know. And if you would like to come to the Dolphin Mayan retreat, we do ceremonies, we do a lot of dolphin kissing and hugging and communication, and they are some of my favorite beings to work with, not just because they're so fun and beautiful, but they recalibrate us, they scan us, they do a lot of powerful work. So we're working on all the vibrations in all the worlds with all of my shamanic wisdoms and all the schools that I've gone and all of my mentors and all of my teachers and all of these beautiful sacred energies here and where we are going. We give great thanks for this sacred space. And we thank you for calling more and more to this path of light, that we receive with grace and ease the support, strength, wisdom, and protection from Athena and Gaia and from this life force that is rising within us, that we can walk as peace warriors of light, never backing down. Citrine is here to help us hold our frequency. The higher we get, the more we hold it. The higher we get, the more we hold it. The more the pillars of light will rise again and channel between heaven and earth as one. The truth that you are the creator, the truth that we are all, the truth that together we can create worlds that have never been seen, and we can uncreate the pain. Now is the time. We thank Gaia, Delphine, Athena, the sacred space, and all of the guides. Through time and space, we thank our oracle, our powers and our purpose, our higher selves, and our body elementals. Bring yourself back into your body, breathe through it and stretch. Ooh, feel your spine. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Fantastic. We are one in la Kachalakin. Atakiwase. I am that I am. May this circle be open yet unbroken. And this connection to the divine life force that we've been gifted stay open, protected, full of our truth and wisdom, allowing our path with heart and love to be opened to the wisdom within. We accept the support and the help of the light and the love and radiate it everywhere we go. And so it is. The winged victory Nike is over my head here, over our heads. Woo, yay! I absolutely adore her and have never before really had this kind of connection to her till this time in Greece. All right, darlings, thank you so much. Have a beautiful, I can't wait. Good. Oh, thanks, Tiffany. Hi. I'm so glad you made it. And yes, as soon as I hang up, the replay will be available. So namaste, my loves. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful and blessed day. Spread this love, share this message, and I'll see you soon. Next week, I have Joan of Angels coming. We're going to talk more about the oracles, and we've got the spiritual weather report and other beautiful things, more channeling with the divine sacred feminine energies. So enjoy.